Rob, can you pull up Kirk's TikTok account? If you just pull up Kirk's TikTok account,
do you dance a lot on the TikTok?
I very rarely.
If you pull up his TikTok, I just want to show this real quick.
The TikTok story is crazy,
and I want you to talk about this, Rob. Yeah. Just do me a favor. Let's go through some of the clips, okay? All right.
So
10 million.
If you go to popular, it's the best way to do because this is all recent election.
Go to the right. Go all the way to the right.
Yeah.
Okay. So check this out. Look at this here. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could. 49,
50 million. Let's be honest. 50
40
million.
37. Keep going. 13.8, 22.6, 23. Keep going, Rob.
This is just in the last month.
22, 21.7, 23.6, 20, 20, 16.4. Go a little lower. 9.2, 8.5, 14.3. 60 million views on a daily basis, okay, while you're going through this. Now, Charlie, there's Instagram. That's a different audience. Mm-hmm. There's YouTube, different audience. You got radio, syndicated, different audience. You got Rumble, different audience. X, different audience. TikTok. When you're in the streets or you go places and people say, hey, I watch your stuff on radio. I watch your stuff. I listen to your stuff on radio. I watch you on YouTube. I watch you on Instagram.
Gotta be TikTok.
How often do you hear TikTok?
TikTok is 80% of the
unbelievable.
And, I hang out in the streets a lot. That's what I'm for. No, but let me say a couple of things on TikTok. I'm blown away by this. And look, we do a lot on social. We do a lot on podcasting, and praise God, the podcast is doing really well. So we were trying to get...
By the way, he's being modest. It's a top 5 podcast on Apple and Spotify right now while we're speaking. Right now, if you look at him, he's top 5 Apple and top 5 Spotify. Please continue.
Thank you. Yeah. And so we've been trying to get on TikTok for a while. And TikTok had a censorship regime that...
I'm so sad. I'm so discouraged. It's just, there is no, ugh. If one more fucking person asked me to move to Canada, I'm Brian Kill Me, dude. What the fuck am I going to do in Canada, dumbass? They have the same exact fucking problems. What are you talking about? Canada already adopted the IHRA anti-Semitism hate crime statute. I can't wait to go to Canada so I can be in prison and be cold at the same time. All of the worst, evil, monstrous pieces of shit are winning in this process, and it makes me so sad. It just sucks. We just keep giving the worst scumbags the greatest fucking platforms.
It was very sensitive to topics that we would discuss on campus. And we kind of just said, forget it. Well, it's interesting. And I have a whole theory that October 7th was the event that led to the end of the Democrat Party. And I could lead it through 4 or 5 different examples. And I think Chris would actually agree with this because it's just an objective analysis, not a partisan one. And the buried lead of the October 7th was that it got TikTok banned. And remember, the TikTok ban stalled based on just China concerns. But TikTok was the hub of a lot of the anti-Israel sentiment that was brewing with Gen Z. And then all of a sudden the TikTok ban got resurfaced. Mitt Romney said at a security conference, we are banning TikTok because it is sowing anti-Israel sentiment in the United States. So TikTok gets banned. And our team, we had this idea like, hey, TikTok is in a place where they don't want to get banned with an incoming administration. Let's send out a tweet saying, hey guys, let's do one more chance. If you treat us fairly, we'll become TikTok's like biggest right-wing fan, right? And I will talk. And they reached out and they were great. They said, here are our rules. We will transparently enforce them. Again, they're very, very sensitive. If you talk about trans stuff.
Oh my God. So TikTok gave them TikTok, out of fears that they were going to get banned, gave the right wing another faucet of propaganda. TikTok and Twitch has the same people. Dude, Republican cry bullying is why Meta is so fucking right wing. Republican reactionary right wing cry bullying is why how TikTok courted conservatives before Trump's win. God, what a spectacular fuck up. What a spectacular fucking failure. Republican cancel culture? What do you mean? This is what the Republicans do all the fucking time. They did this with Meta way back in the day. I debated Charlie Kirk on this in 2016. Facebook is so left-wing. It's so liberal. People still repeat that shit. Non-stop. Trump expected to try and halt the TikTok ban, allies say. God, he is going to win forever, dude. Well, not that there is going to be another fucking election. But if there was, he would win it. Philly D got you in the thumbo again.
Is the left starting to go partial or full QAnon? Blue anon, if you will. That is what some are asking right now, because election-related conspiracies are starting to become popular among Democrats who are still reeling from Kamala Harris's loss. The thing is, just like we saw in 2020, there are a lot of different theories, but the most important thing to note is that before diving into this whole thing, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency have already said, we have no evidence of any malicious activity that had a material impact on the security or integrity of our election infrastructure. But as far as what some are flagging as suspicious, you have one thing being voter turnout this year compared to 2020, or with people saying that in 2020, Biden got 81 million votes to Trump's 74 million. But now this year, and keep in mind, votes are still coming in, it shows Trump at 75 million and Kamala at just 71. It's currently a drop of around 10 million Democratic votes. And so you have people saying, millions of votes, quote, don't disappear on their own. Or writing things like, if anyone could fund a massive election fraud scheme, it's Elon Musk. He also has motive. But the thing is, the 2024 vote tally that people are using only reflects the votes so far. Like, yes, we have enough to know whether Trump won the presidency, but ballots are still being counted. And in the end, you have the AP right now estimating that the number of votes cast will only actually be around 700,000 less than in 2020. With Steve Kornacki, for example, also breaking it down on NBC News' TikTok.
There's still a lot to come here. So you're adding those two numbers together and you're saying it's a lot less than 20. Well, keep in mind, gigantic states like California, there's millions more votes to come in from California. Washington, too. There's more coming in from Illinois, all across the country. By the end of this, there's probably going to be a turnout about 10 million or so more than what you're seeing right here.
And even with all that aside, voter turnout fluctuates cycle to cycle anyways. And these are also fact checks that the conservatives should keep in mind as well, because tons of people on that side have also been using preliminary voter turnout data to try to prove that the 2020 election was stolen, that millions of votes then must have been fake, but no. Or the numbers people have been using and what 2024's turnout is expected to grow to is a significant difference. Also, another big conspiracy theory that people have been throwing out there has to do with Elon Musk's Starlink, with some claiming here that the Starlink internet provider manipulated vote counts. But as PolitiFact noted, major swing states like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, the list goes on, they have protocols ensuring that voting equipment is never connected to the internet during ballot tabulation. And just kind of generally speaking, voting machines usually are not internet connected anyways. With the outlet also adding, even if Starlink had somehow been used.
What is this? Your debate with Charlie was popping off on TikTok and people were calling you a liar when you said you had a $60,000 salary. Absolutely no idea. The debate was from years ago when people pointed that out. Like 95% of people ignored it or doubled down saying you lie because of your $100 gazillion house. I want to quit so fucking bad. There's no purpose. How do you describe to someone any political thing, any of the ways in which these systems actually harm them, if they don't understand the passage of time? Okay? If you don't understand the passage of time, then I can't explain anything to you.
to modify the vote count, there are systems designed to catch tabulation discrepancies. And PolitiFact finding little evidence that Starlink was widely used in elections in the first place. Also with this, it's worth noting that there are some differences in the misinformation we saw this election compared to last. In 2020 and even this year, Republicans were really setting the stage to call for fraud, though after their victory, their fraud concerns just somehow disappeared. Also, a big difference is with 2024, it's largely just civilians online spreading theories and not politicians, right? Like when you had Trump, people in his administration and elected members of his party claiming it was rigged. But so far, I haven't seen Kamala Harris out there holding a press conference at a landscaping company demanding a recount, which is also why you have a ton of people on the left saying just stop before it gets too deep. People like activist Olivia Juliana saying the election wasn't stolen, we lost, you sound insane, stop it. And the likes of Hassan Pike are also reacting to a bunch of the theories and saying,
these people are doing the same exact that Republicans do, which is not understanding a process. And then because of your own personal inability of understanding how this like regular process works, you are now imagining like an alternate scenario.
And personally, I will say there are a number of people out there that have me concerned right now. And if anything, it's given me, and it feels weird saying it because a lot of those people are just would say horrible things to me right now. It gives me a lot of empathy and more understanding for people who believed election lies back in 2020. Like imagine being shocked by the result. You're like, but I saw the rallies. There were so many people there. There was so much energy. Everyone around me thinks like I do. The election was obviously stolen. And then rather than being given time to go, oh, well, no, the world is not my bubble. The vote went a different way. The politician you support goes, no, it was stolen. How fast would so many people flock to that? Because they want to think that's true. That's the only way that everything makes sense. I mean, like I saw a huge viral post of like people in their bed going, did you see AOC, what she said in that video? They're dropping something huge tomorrow, get ready. And a lot of people are just misconstruing things that she's saying. You know, we'll see how things play out from here. Does it involve an increasing number of people going down conspiracy holes? Or is this something that's kind of short-lived? It's people in their bargaining stage of grief and or the denial part. But also, hey, with all of that said, I gotta pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts here? But then we got to talk about the updates and additions to the Marnie Washington.
It's like incredibly, right? Even if you do it diplomatically. And we said, great. So again, this is all transparent. It's all public. There's no like backroom deal. And so we started posting my old college discussions there because I've been doing this for 12 years where we just have open dialogues. And we started to get 5 million views a day, 6 million views a day, and 10 million views a day. And so over the summer, I said, well, what if this election season, I do like 25 campus stops and we kind of create these open air discussions and they might go viral, especially on TikTok, that could influence a lot of people to view the election the way obviously I want them.
That's literally just what Steven Crowder did. And yes, Philly D is a Hasanabi head. That is confirmed. He literally posts shirtless selfies of himself before going live on Twitch now. Okay, he's doing the Hasanabi method through and through. It's tried, true, and tested. Just like the Steven Crowder change my mind method is tried, true, and tested.
To view it. And yeah, look, on TikTok alone, it was 1 billion views in 90 days. It's like 60 to 80 million views a day. And
Bro, you are legit so hard to find on Twitch now. Yes, dude. Yes. Okay. I know. I am. Because Twitch has actively caved and capitulated the fucking dildos. And it seems like I'm no longer a part of the algorithmic boost that you get for having fucking 38,000 viewers, which makes this all the more impressive regardless. It's ironic, of course, because if you log in, the first person you see doing political commentary on the platform is fucking Asmongold. Okay? They don't have an issue with Asmongold being the political commentator. And guess what? I don't either. If that's what they want, then that's what they want. There's not much I can do. The reality is, While Destiny and so many of these other people say that I am Twitch's golden boy, Twitch very clearly is not treating me like it's fucking golden boy. That's it. Having said that, however, I get really fucking annoyed when people are constantly like, "Oh, dude, you're being blacklisted." Dog, I have 40,000 viewers, okay? That means 40,000 fucking viewers are literally directly tuning in because they expect me to do political commentary. Okay? That's it. That's it. And a lot of people reported saying they couldn't find me on the front page of the election on mobile. I had 313,000 views, dog. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. I just hope that we can put to bed these idiotic fucking conspiracies that I am somehow Twitch's golden boy. No, I'm here to watch crying. Well, you're not going to get it. So I don't know what to tell you. This is the expected outcome. And everything I said, unfortunately, became true. It was funny when using your 300K live stream, I had to log in to find it was like stabbing themselves in the leg. Yeah, it didn't matter. Okay? It did not fucking matter. But that is yet another example of platforms being fucking stupid and responding to right-wing cry-bullying. That is how it works. So before you go, Hasan, I don't understand. How do these platforms become so right-wing? It's because Republicans do this very effectively. Conservatives do this very effectively. Reactionaries, even if sometimes they consider themselves a part of the Democratic Party, do this very effectively. They cry bully and they get people banned, and then they say, oh, it's the left doing that. Okay? Conservatives will never stop until every single fucking conservatives will never stop until every single person that is doing anything that's like even remotely close to political commentary is at least center right. Okay? That's it.
That sounds like a number, but all of a sudden, here's what was amazing. It was the most effective way I ever reached the working class in my career. The muscular class, janitors, waiters, waitresses, Uber drivers, police officers, firefighters. Even more so than YouTube and Instagram, for whatever reason, something about TikTok really reaches people that Donald Trump was trying to win 10 or 15% more of. And final thought I'll make on this. It's the most diverse audience that I'm talking about Black, Hispanic, Asian, young. And I'll just tell one story. I was in Vegas about to speak, and there were a bunch of, waiters and waitresses coming up asking for pictures, all Hispanic, all Asian American, Pacific Islander, that saw me on TikTok, and they're like, thank you, you connected dots, I think. And it is a form of entertainment what we do on TikTok because it's ideas that are kind of colliding. And so praise God, if you would have told me a year ago that we'd have like one of the largest TikToks out there in conservative media and all politics, I would have said no way. But and we can go whatever direction you want, Pat, but I believe without the horror and the tragedy on October 7th and the events that came subsequent.
This is why the Hasanabi Clips industrial complex must operate full tilt on TikTok. We got to do 1,000. We got to do 1,000 different accounts, all pumping fucking funk music with like short clips of things I'm talking about, pop off moments, shit like that. We must let a 1,000 flowers bloom. Okay. I don't mean thirst trap videos. He's mic dropping ethnic groups like he's a liberal and not a Nazi. Yes, he is. Look, it's good. The sexy fan edits are one thing, and that's fine. It works, right? It's great. It's one thing that they can't really undermine. They can't just be like, nah, that guy sucks. He's not hot at all. Right? Anyway. But we need more pop-off moments from the stream. Can we conclude that the reason why the left doesn't pop off on social media is because the right has more money to support it? No. There are a million reasons. One of them is the fact that the right is unified in its message. Monetization on TikTok sucks though, so there's less incentive. Yeah, I know. There's a I mean, look, there's obviously shadow banning concerns, which is ironic because that's what conservatives run on all the time actively. But the reality of the matter is it's the left that gets consistently banned and shadow banned for supporting Palestinians, supporting America's like adversaries in general, supporting the humanity of people, no matter where they're from, and understanding their material conditions, their material realities. But outside of that, kind of hard to have a leftist pop-off moment when your people on your side will still call you out on things no matter how insignificant. I know, but that hasn't stopped me in the past, and it won't stop me now because I don't give a fuck. That's the thing, okay? You have to understand something. If you're already a leftist or you consider yourself a leftist, you consider yourself to be anti-capitalist, and you have minor disagreements with me that you consider to be the worst possible thing on the planet, I don't care. I don't need to convert you. I don't need to change your fucking mind. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Hate me all day, every day. As long as you're still fighting to defend undocumented migrants, fighting to defend trans people, fighting to defend black people, fighting to defend women and women's rights, then that's fine. I'm right there with you. I don't care. You can fucking constantly talk about how awful I am because you caught me doing a microaggression. All the while, what I do care about, however, is the much broader field at play, okay? Because there are a shit ton of people out there, shit ton of guys, who abso-fucking-lutely, like, see, change your stance on neopronouns and I will stand. No, I'm not going to, and you're a 25-month subscriber. I still think it's weird and I don't understand it, but I don't care. That's the reason why I don't talk about it, okay? The reason why I don't talk about it is because it's irrelevant. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's irrelevant in the sense that, like, this is not something that ever needs to be discussed, okay? If I wanted to present myself as a reasonable moderate, I would regularly fucking shit on certain aspects of, like, you know, trans advocacy, like neopronouns, to present myself as a reasonable guy. The reason why I don't talk about it is because I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's irrelevant. Oh, 80% of the public does not want trans women to participate in athletic endeavors with cis women, okay? 80%. It's over. It's a fucking mass majority. I know there are only 40%. I mean, not 40%, sorry. I know there are only 40 trans athletes in this fucking country up to the collegiate level. 40. 40. Not fucking 40,000. Not 400. 40. 40. That's why I don't talk about it at all. I don't give a shit. It's a non-issue. You will never convince me, because some Republicans decided to get mad about it, that this is a major problem. Shut the fuck up. Is it putting food on your table? Is it putting money in your pockets? If you were to stop all 40 trans athletes from participating in athletic competitions, is your life going to get better? No, it's not. It's a simple distraction. I don't care, and neither do you. Shut the fuck up. And a lot of people who come from this background routinely, a lot of people that come from these different backgrounds routinely will be like, please talk about this issue. Please talk about this niche issue. Please, 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 please. Or I don't like the way you're talking about this niche issue that is making everyone look at you with an inherently hostile attitude. Okay? The reason why I say this does not matter, you don't care about it, and neither do I, is specifically because it doesn't harm anyone, nobody actually cares about it, and it's right-wing priming on the matter. Okay? That's it. If I were to spend every fucking damn day defending trans people, the 40 trans student athletes, and their right to fucking participate in athletic competitions, that would be an unnecessarily idiotic thing to do, because I'd be primed by right-wingers to talk about this thing when the real way to talk about it is to say, this does not actually bother you at all. This is not a significant problem. There's only 40 trans people that do this. And even if there was 100 trans people that were participating in athletic competitions, it still would not fucking matter. Stopping them from participating in athletic competitions does not actually change anything in your life. You're just angry and you're primed to get fucking mad at this shit. Okay? That's it. Why the fuck would I be a goddamn dupe and fight on territory that my ideological opponents have created? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I fight on solid ground? It's dumb as fuck. Anyway.
I don't know if we would have had the success on TikTok that we did.
There's a story that came out, Rob, if you can. Oh, there it is. So it's a Wall Street Journal story a few days ago.
I don't know, like, as a trans woman, I just want healthcare, college, housing, and not to get shot by a chud on my way home from church. Yeah, exactly. You don't understand. If I play sports as a trans woman, I'm actively making everyone in America broke and destitute. Exactly. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. Even if you forcibly detransition less than 1% of the population, which would be an act of unimaginable cruelty for no reason. It would be costly. It would be cruel. It would be punishment for no fucking reason other than to soothe the interests of some of the most rabid sociopaths in American society. Even if you were to do that, would the fucking egg prices go down? Would the McDonald's value menu come back? Would you be able to buy a fucking hamburger for $1 again? No? Then shut the fuck up. That's it. You don't care about any of this shit. Republicans and Democrats alike cause you to hyper-focus on this stuff because they want to make you feel like they represent different interests when they are owned by the same corporate masters. That's it. That's it. And all these dumbass Republican Trump supporters are like, hell yeah, MAGA's back, baby. We're going to put men on the map. It's like, you're a fucking idiot. Immediately after he won the election, the richest people on the fucking planet, including but not limited to Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, you know, those libtards themselves, put like $300 billion on their net worth, like overnight. Yeah, one day you're going to get your comeuppance, dude. I promise. Oh, I'm going to get mine one day. No, you're not. You have a 1994 Honda Civic. That's the only asset that you have to your fucking name that was handed down to you by your older brother. And unlike him, you've never even gotten pussy in that fucking car. And you never will. You are not a capital owner. Why the fuck are you defending this system, dumbass? It's so stupid.
Young voters helped fuel Trump's win, okay? So, and this was kind of interesting because one day I get a call from Vanity Fair and they're asking me about, what do you think about the fact that Barron Trump is getting all these podcast bros for his father to get on? And what do you think about that strategy and all this? I said, you're talking as if it's a bad idea on what he's doing. I'll read this to you. Young voters helped Trump fuel Trump's win. Trump's win included a 14-point lead among men under 30, a drastic 30-point shift from 2020 when Biden had a 15-point lead. For women under 30, Harris led by 18 points, a drop from 32 points in 2020. Nationally, 16% of voters were under 30, up from 13%, so 3+ in 2020, with Harris's support among them shrinking to just six points over Trump, 52-46. Economic issues dominated young voters' concerns, with 39% of young women and 42% of young men prioritizing jobs and the economy. Trump's campaign reached young voters through college events, TikTok. They're talking about you right here, and popular podcasts. Following advice from his son, Barron, who recommended appearance on platforms such as Aiden Ross, drawn hundreds of thousands of views. Now, Aiden, sure, gamer, all this stuff.
Dem Socia, Hasanabi brother, I was one of those anti-trans guys who hyperfixated on this issue ever since it became mainstream, and you helped me realize that not only was I wrong, but that it was unfortunately effective distraction from the real issues. Yes, there are a shit ton of people like you in this community, which is also part of the reason there are so many people like you in this community, people who are transphobic. I myself had transphobic attitudes in the past, something I've talked about a lot, okay? I had misogynistic takes. I had transphobic takes. Now, I still fancied myself to be a progressive, even if I did not fully subscribe to every aspect of social progressivism. But it didn't matter, okay? I took the time out and I learned and I changed my fucking attitude, okay? And that lived experience, unironically, is part of the reason why I think I can be a more effective communicator on these issues and talk people off the ledge of becoming this like hyperfixated monster who fucking loses their own sense of self as a consequence of that, okay? And that's also partially the reason why I pay no attention to all these dumb fucks who are like, Hasan is not sufficiently progressive enough, or my key issue is sex work and I don't really appreciate his takes on it, so I'm just gonna fucking write him out entirely and I'm gonna make it my life's mission to say he's a bad guy. Who cares? Shut the fuck up. You're a goddamn loser and nobody gives a shit about what you have to say. You can get a one fucking minor blip on TikTok for the day, but then it's over, okay? That's it. It's over. And as long as, the reality is, as long as you are still advocating for women's rights, for trans rights, advocating to uplift people of color in this country, advocating to help the entirety of the American working class, the global working class, across the board, unconditionally, then I don't care if you fucking yell and get upset about what my perspective is. Okay? It would be hard for a black person to change a white racist mind, but he may listen to a white person on it. I mean, that's it. That is the method. Okay. The method is, I know that people who are transphobic are going to be infinitely more resistant to listening to a trans person. That is just the unfortunate reality. Okay. Than they are to listening to a fucking white dude, especially a cis heterosexual white guy who's 6'4" and loves the fucking workout, play basketball, watches anime, and shares their same interests. That's it. And it's so funny that there are still these like incredibly fucking sheltered, like reactionary social justice attitude representers, all that should have been shelved all the way back in 2016, that are just still chirping. They're like, his aesthetics are too broy for me. It's like, yeah, dumbass, that's why I'm successful. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, okay? I'm sorry. It might not be for you. There's a million different bread tubers out there who I love and respect that you can go get this kind of commentary from with a softer tone, okay? If you don't like it here, you shut the fuck up, you know? Stop chirping.
But a lot of this, if I was to hear someone, like for example, a celebrity gets on, oh, wow, he was on Aiden. Great. Oh my God, he was on Logan Paul and Mike Mallett. Great. Sure. Influence. Yeah. I can't believe Logan had him on. I get it. Jake actually broke down a 32-minute video to explain why he's voting. I think that translates. You get young voters to say, that's right. That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. Chris, again, the sport of politics. How big, you're in this space, you've been in.
Why do you yell so much? I think being calm in your delivery projects more confidence. Man, shut the fuck up. There you go. I yell because I get angry. That's the point, okay? I don't fucking censor myself. I will censor you for making a stupid point like that. I'm angry. Why the fuck would you not be angry? How the fuck can you be civil about the situation? Okay? Like, how? How are you not angry? I'm angry all the fucking time. It's so dumb. Difference is, if I'm angry and you're not, you obviously think the system's working for you. Okay? And that's why you simply don't understand. That's why you go, why is that guy so fucking angry? I don't get it. Because none of this actually impacts you or any of your immediate loved ones in a tangible way that you can analyze. So you're just like, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really get it. I just wanted the Democrats to win because we wanted to preserve the institutions of democracy. Fuck that, dude. The easiest way to disguise yourself as a normie when you're leftist is to be edgy, bombastic. You genuinely don't woke scold or purity test people the way too many leftists do. No, but there is like a limit to it. You know what I mean? If there's anyone engaging in like harmful commentary, I'm going to stop them. I'm going to tell them, you can't do that. That's unacceptable. You know? And as long as people are aware that those are my worldviews, there's a level of safety that comes from that. You know what I mean? I can make a similar joke sarcastically to what Charlie Kirk says on a daily basis, sincerely, and people understand I'm joking.
Your entire life, your father's a two-term governor, your brother's a governor, so it's not like you. How big of a deal was this for young voters to flip like this and be inspired to come out and vote for Trump?
So one of the rules in politics is do everything. Do everything. Be in yes mode. Go everywhere you can. Talk to anyone you can. That has become less and less popular as people seek their silo, right? Now, again, this is also evidence of underperformance. I'll start with saying, bro vote, to me, I don't think is coming from a good place, by the way. I don't think...
We got to talk about that.
Defining it as bro vote, I see is
what does that mean? What does bro vote mean?
To me, I see it as a way of diminishing what resonates with young men. And I think it's a continuation of a very...
I would still like you to come cover more Canadian news even once a month. I know it's not the same numbers of the U.S., but the shift towards the right here is just as serious, and I can think no better person to spotlight our issues. Don't worry. I talked to the Canadian broadcaster literally today for an entire hour. That shit's going to be out by tomorrow. You can watch me talk about American politics and then draw your own similar conclusions into Canadian politics as the broadcaster brought forward when we were talking about those issues. So there you have it.
Overt, intentional...
Yeah, I'm on fucking CBC, baby.
...strategy of bringing down young men.
I don't get that.
Blaming them. Bro is, to me, it's
Oh, you think it's a pejorative?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a pejorative.
Okay.
And I'm okay with it. Not,
sure. Okay,
I don't see who's called bros. I get called that. You know, I'm 54 years old, you know, and...
I see. So you think when people label that, they're trying to use it as a...
Oh, yeah. Because,
because
it's never one of them.
I got it. So when they say these bro podcasts he's going on, like almost like, why would you waste your time getting on this podcast? I got it.
And it's a disrespect. It's an extension of how people in the media, not to speak for a whole group, obviously.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But you never hear anything good about Joe Rogan except his reach. Now, do I see Rogan as any kind of functional equivalent to either of you guys? No, because you're thought leaders. I may not agree with your thoughts. I may not, I may not want to echo your thoughts, but you're thought leaders. Joe has an amazing platform that you got to give him credit for having, where he has guys like you on it. That's the appeal. His audience is not independents. His audience breaks right, and that's fine. That's fine. But to be a pejorative and say these bros, like somehow it's bad to have young men wanting to vote for you, I think is a mistake. Trump did what you're supposed to do. He went everywhere. So should have Harris. Was Rogan going to be the same situation for her as for him? No. But that's the way it is. You know, when Donald Trump at some point decides to come on News Nation and sit down, it's not going to be like he's sitting down with Newsmax or Fox News. But you take it. The audience gets where you are.
He'll love it, though. That's the thing. He likes to be challenged if it's done from a good place in good faith.
Was he invited?
Oh, yeah.
No, as long as, as long as it's not
all
cheap,
the time.
If it's not cheap
Harris.
shots, though, he likes it.
I agree. Although he likes,
I think
he likes to deliver a cheap shot. By the way,
fair enough. But I think you'd do a good job if you came from a perspective of you want to make sure the American people have clarity on what he believes.
Right. My point is, look, I think he needs to sit down. Here's my feeling about it. Okay, let's move on. The Democrats have to process. The Republicans had to process in the midterms. Process. Figure it out. Figure out what you want. Don't get overwhelmed with blaming things as some kind of battle of agendas, which is what the left is doing. But that's their problem. We have to be focused forward. Trump should be talking about.
Isn't it great that all the liberals are united with the far right and they're united in their hatred of the left? Guys, you know who the real problem is? The far left. The extreme left.
About what?
Which holds like zero motion in the Democratic Party.
What he's going to do all the time.
Can I stay on this topic? I want to stay on this topic. And
Sure.
I want to get your expertise on this topic. So the reason why I'm talking young voters, and we're staying here with the young voters topic, is I watch, Super Bowl. Like right now, it pisses me off that Cincinnati Bengals are 3-5. And they've lost most of their games by less than a touchdown, whatever, 35-34. Tom tells me their cornerbacks suck, and I'm like, okay, he's a number one quarterback right now in yardage, touchdown to interception. I think he's number one or number two in that. But they're 3-5, and they're not, the way they're playing right now, they're not going to do anything major. Now in NFL, you could still make it to the playoffs, and you could still be formidable later on. It's all about momentum. But one could watch a game, and it could say, well, the differentiator in 2024 is XYZ. It's the running game. It's this. NBA, Cleveland Cavs are off to a 12-0 record. It doesn't matter when it comes on to the playoffs.
It's crazy. I don't know how the fuck that's allowed. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the Cleveland's record this season. It just does not make sense. Okay, not to chime in on Patrick Bet-David and agree with him. I don't watch any football. I don't know enough about football, but like, what the fuck's happening, dude?
In politics,
Drug test.
right now, a lot of events happened last 12 months. I remember a year and a half ago, I'm bringing guests here, and we're having different conversations. And a lot of people were still DeSantis. Mm-hmm. They were even uncomfortable to be pro-Trump. Mm-hmm. I would go to events, and guys were kind of like, whoa, you got to be comfortable, don't be too pro-Trump because you're even losing the conservative vote. This was about a year and a half, 2 years ago that was happening. So you had to kind of be like, relax a little bit when you're being too.
Yeah, in primary mode.
Bring it down a little bit, right? But then in the last 12 months, specifically, if this is a sport, in the last 12 months, to both of you guys, what would you say were the defining moment where it flipped?
The Cavs is the NBA, not the NFL. Dog. I don't know who you're talking to. I'm literally, every moment that I'm not on camera, I'm throwing it back for LeBron James. Okay? Akron's very own prodigal son. Yeah, I know the Cleveland Cavs are not an NFL team.
Flipped. And by the way, I'm not I'd like to see one from both of you guys.
He's going to say now, LeBron no longer plays for the Cavs. Watch.
But also reasons. For example, Bobby's walkout. Okay?
We hosted that event.
I remember that. That was turning
In Phoenix,
point.
that was
I
a
remember.
t-
Was
that-
it an Amfest or was it a?
No, but come on, if you see those kind of pyrotechnics, you know who's
Your
doing
AV
it.
is insane. Yeah. So, but
That's that doesn't come ex nihilo. That's
well, you
Dude, Jokic will not have a better career. You cannot have a better career than LeBron James. It is statistically impossible. Maybe in the future, where someone has LeBron James's level of recovery and level of fucking dude. It cannot happen. It cannot be recreated. Okay, 20 years of domination is not a real thing. Maybe in the future, with medical science improving, potentially someone will be able to get to that level. Okay? Maybe. But it's going to take a while. Yeah, Jokic also hates basketball. The funniest part about that is like he's not even interested in playing ball. He likes his horses. He likes being in Serbia. He does not like playing in the NBA. Look at him. And I say this as someone who loves seeing a dude, a fat Serbian man, absolutely fucking dominate the league, okay? It's just not going to happen. The fact that he doesn't care makes it more impressive. I know. Jokic treats the NBA like a 9 to 5. Yes, he does. And it is extra impressive that he gets to dominate so hard despite treating the NBA like a 9 to 5 job. Okay? Having said that, however, LeBron James is a dominant force who invented the game of basketball and then reinvented it over the course of 2 fucking decades, season after season. Okay? Rings or not, does not fucking matter. This man has never had a non-dominant season. Like, it's just crazy. No one has been as good as consistently as LeBron James. No one will ever be as good as consistently as LeBron James until medical technology improves. That's it. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Y'all are a bunch of white supremacists if you don't recognize this reality. Okay, I'm done with this. Let's move on.
you
come on, Pat. You know that's a turning
You
point.
realize we've been in the business of doing events for a while, and I would expect nothing less from a guy like you. I've been at your event. I see you in the back. The guy works like.
Bro, Curry had way more impact on the game than LeBron. That's undisputable. Yeah, I mean, that I don't even disagree with, but I'm talking about his legacy, okay? I don't disagree with that. Why the fuck is... First of all, there's no more mid-range. Like, the mid-range jumper has been destroyed, okay, systematically. It's not revisionism. I think that, yes, Steph Curry's NIMBY ass absolutely played a role in this, okay? He did. Steph Curry loves taking threes, hates poor people moving into his neighborhood because it's going to ruin the neighborhood aesthetic. Okay? Understand. Does not want, he is the number one hater of homeless, of anti-homeless initiatives. Dude, you're so wrong. The middy's coming back. Kawhi, PG, come on, not a ball knower. I'm not a ball knower. I'm a ball fondler when it comes to LeBron James. That's all I know, and that's all I need to know. Okay, let's move on. Let's get back to Patrick Bet-David.
It's like 24/7 at his event, running the whole show. He's phenomenal. But Bobby coming out, that alliance. Tulsi, Musk coming out. Musk's 2.1 billion impression on X. Rogan's podcast. Assassination attempt. The younger voter going out there getting the TikTok folks. If you were to say a few of the events in 2024 that led to Trump making the greatest comeback of all time, what would you say that was?
I have to pick a couple. The first of which was Elon Musk's purchasing of Twitter. And I believe that for many reasons, because it allowed for...
You put that as one?
Yes.
I think I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I do. And the reason being is that you saw a national popular vote tilt a certain way, which is indicative that the entire country is consuming information differently.
Right.
This was not just a regional tilt. It's not just that Trump ran a better campaign in Pennsylvania, which he did. It's not just that we chased more votes in Arizona, which we did. It's that the whole country is consuming information that makes them view things differently.
I do not agree. Say I'm wrong all day, every day. This is the Republican version of we need to podcast our way out of this problem. It doesn't matter. Okay? You are getting duped by the Republican method of what you see from every fucking liberal outlet writing articles about, think pieces about how, where is the left's Joe Rogan? I'm here, and I'm fucking telling you right now, that's dumb. That is dumb. You cannot podcast your way out of this issue. They did podcast their way out of this? No, they didn't. No, they did not. The only reason why the podcast circuit worked in Trump's favor was because he can come across as personable, and that was where all of the remaining voters that he could capture were at. But most importantly, Biden was tremendously unpopular. Americans were suffering. Americans wanted to blow this shit up once again, just like they did in 2016. And the unaddressed, unexamined material harms that they were experiencing were utilized by Donald Trump. All the while, Kamala Harris depressed her own voter turnout by constantly hugging and kissing Republicans and saying she's going to be the gay Nikki Haley Republican Party. How could this have happened? You look at turnout, Donald Trump didn't hemorrhage his base of support all that much, whereas Kamala Harris did. Blaming Biden, lol. Well, yes, of course I'm blaming Biden. What the fuck? His brain was leaking out of his ear. What? Are there Biden defending Republicans out there? What the fuck? I'm blaming Kamala Harris and I'm blaming Joseph Robinette Brandon. The fuck do you mean? Wait, so you're blaming Biden's body? I'm blaming his obvious delusions. Biden will be the scapegoat. Biden is not just a scapegoat. He directly was the problem. Biden was a problem when he picked Kamala Harris early on, knowing full well that he did not want a VP that could outshine him because he wanted to, one, and he openly said this, I pick a black woman as my VP. I'm not racist. Vote for me. That was number one. He chose Kamala Harris from a field of even more qualified black women that he could have probably gone after. Two, he put Kamala Harris to task in the shittiest jobs possible. Basically sanitation, running side quests. Like forcing her ass to go to fucking Guatemala to be like, do not come. Made her the goddamn border czar. That's number two. He made Kamala Harris do all the shittiest jobs possible. Because, and I repeat this once again, he did not give a fuck about being a transitional candidate, despite the fact that many voters believed that he was the transitional candidate. I remember telling you before he dropped out that Kamala was the wrong choice because she was pushed by the DNC and was going to be way less progressive than Biden, who would have won, by the way, but you didn't listen. Yeah, I said at the time that Kamala Harris is the best possible route here, and because there was no other fucking alternative. And there wasn't enough time to run a fucking open primary. A lot of people fantasize about an open primary, and maybe it could have been successful. Maybe there would have been a stronger candidate. There definitely would have been a stronger candidate from the open primary. I will admit. I just don't know if a better candidate from the open primary would have been able to defeat Donald Trump in such a short period of time. Because at the time, the Democrats were offering some level of, stability and being the adults in the room. Turns out people didn't give a shit about that too much. You're smoking crack if you think Biden would have won? No, Biden definitely would have not won. What the fuck? Anyone who says Biden would have won is delusional. Good luck to them. Anyway, listen. It's not about having an open primary. There should have been a primary. That's it. Biden shut that off real quick. Then, foolishly enough, they did an early-ass debate where the entire world found out, oh my God, the leader of the free world is brain dead, like medically brain dead. He still refused to drop out. Then he dropped out and tanked Kamala Harris's chances every step of the fucking week. Every step of the way. Did everything in his power to make sure that, Donald Trump won, basically. Kamala Harris could have separated herself from Biden's administration and presented a different pathway forward. Kamala Harris was far from the best candidate. I agree. I, was very critical of Kamala Harris in 2019. I ripped into her quite a bit. But she's a goddamn adult. Okay? What is this? Al Jazeera Gaza team stops broadcasting over unpaid bills. Some of Al Jazeera's correspondents covering the war in Gaza are protesting what they believe is months of mistreatment and missed paychecks from the organization. How the fuck? Dude, this is Qatar's number one outlet to the Western world. This is the best possible way that they can maintain a vision of looking different than the rest of the fucking Gulf states and shit. You ripped into her in 2019 I did. Yeah, I did. Rip that pussy. See, this is what I mean when I say there's a lot of unrestrained, unrestricted misogyny in this community sometimes, and I ban them adequately. Okay? There you go. What are you, fucking 12? What the fuck? Come on, dude. Jesus Christ.
Now you could say, oh, because it's inflation, all that. Sort of. But national public polling shows that there was this moment where...
Bro, what do you mean Kamala ran as an Indian in 2019? No, she didn't, dumbass. The fuck are you talking about? She literally said, I was that black girl to Joe Biden on the stage. It was her most telegenic moment.
The country started to care more about immigration. The country started to care more about what's happening in Ukraine. Public attitudes were changing, and I believe that is because we had a platform that finally allowed freedom of speech, because all the other ones were clamping down on it. So I think that's number one. And then
she announced her campaign at Howard University, and people are still like, oh, she's an Indian. You don't understand. When did she choose to become black? It's just like bots, all of you. Okay? You hear fucking Donald Trump say some shit, and then you immediately are like, that's funny. I'm going to repeat it. Bot! Make up your own damn mind. The free thinkers, dude. The independent fucking thinkers of America over here. Oh, you don't understand, brother. I'm a free thinker. I will not be taken out by the Democratic Party's libtard propaganda. I'm not an NPC.
Number two, I think it would be the indictments of Donald Trump, starting when the Rubicon was crossed.
Shut up. Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's actually wonderful hearing at least different takes from what the fucking dumbass liberals are saying. Oh, what a breath of fresh air, dude. That's amazing. I'm glad that I'm at least hearing something different. Fareed said the same thing. Yeah, dude, people were really, really invested and tapped in to the fucking comings and goings of Donald Trump. They actually thought, he's coming after, he's not coming after, they're not coming after Trump. They're coming after us, but he's in the way. That's what they thought. Trump named Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense. He has been on a host on Fox News. Let's go. Let's go. Trump says he's poaching Fox News host Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as the Secretary of Defense. Yeah, it's like saying Roseanne Barr endorsements were what really moved the needle in Trump's direction.
Alvin Bragg indicted Donald Trump in New York for this ridiculous, just concocted pile of garbage that no one could explain. And Donald Trump was then viewed correctly as a martyr by his supporters and a sympathetic figure to the people who couldn't afford groceries. And for a regular person, the equation, the formula is built. I can't afford stuff that I used to, and the guy I've been told to hate is now facing prison time. That doesn't make sense to me. And so then what happened is that regular everyday people would go turn on the networks. They say, okay, help me understand this, MSNBC. Help me, because a lot of people would give the benefit of the doubt. They said, okay. And they heard nothing but he's a Nazi, he's a threat to democracy, and he must be locked up. And regular people didn't buy that. And then where did they go, PBD? X. To Twitter, and they saw a different story. And so I could keep on going. And then finally, the day, what day did...
Dog, people didn't even give a fuck that Trump got shot. Shut the fuck up. They literally don't care. They were like, one party is saying we got to preserve these institutions. The other party is saying we're going to blow up the institutions, but it's going to lower your prices. And they were like, okay, institutions haven't helped me. I'll go with the blow up the institutions guy. That's it. That's it. People didn't even fucking swing in Trump's favor after he got shot. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah, they were like, dude, the way he tried to tie the grocery prices thing back to Donald Trump is just the hallucinations of a pure sycophant, okay? That's it. He straight up was like, oh, we're trusting the polls now? What the fuck do you mean? The polls were correct. What are you talking about? Are you a polls were wrong guy? Is that what it is? Why? He only saw one poll. He only saw the Jen Seltzer poll, and he's like, oh, the polls are so wrong. What are we talking about? Getting shot def helped them? No, it didn't, dude. Wait, what? Getting shot was such a fucking non-issue that Ben Shapiro stopped talking about it. Like, immediately after. Okay? Getting shot did not end up swinging this in Donald Trump's favor. People do not like Donald Trump. Also, nothing really moves the needle that much in today's discourse anyway. Like, that's the other reality. It's just our news cycle is so primed, is so fast, that multiple world-changing events happen over and over again. And it barely made a blip. Hasan is still shilling for the polls. Not saying it's the largest factor, but felt huge. Can disagree, okay. Some did predict it was going to be a blowout one way or another. I did. And it would have been if Joe Biden stayed in the race. But that still would have been more so on Joe Biden than Donald Trump getting shot. It's a big factor when it's remembered. What? No, it's not. No. Kamala only lost because she didn't go on The View enough. Yeah, definitely. To be fair, his approval ratings were the highest ever in the months after, and I think the attempts helped with that. I think his approval ratings increased. Getting shot might have played a role in this, but I think his approval ratings increased because he was just more prominent. And I think his approval ratings absolutely increased because he kept showing himself as a personable figure on every avenue that he could go on. when the disapproval rating of the sitting administration is so high, okay? When the disapproval rating of the sitting administration is so fucking high, the alternative to that is going to understandably get more popular.
Did Elon Musk endorse Donald Trump? July 13th, the day that Donald Trump got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I believe the hand of God was on Donald Trump. I really do. I believe that it was 1 millimeter that, saved his life. But then Elon Musk going all in. You know this. I mean, I'm read Elon's book, the Walter Isaacson one. It's unbelievable. He's like a laser beam. When Tesla's not hitting its objectives, he sleeps on the floor of the Tesla factory, the Gigafactory, until it's done. If the rockets aren't getting up on time, he dedicates his whole life. If he wants Donald Trump to go to the White House, what did he do? He lived in Pennsylvania for 45 days straight. And
I can't believe the JFK still alive guy was right behind him when he got shot. That's even crazy.
Dedicated his fortune, his time, his energy like a laser beam. Nothing else mattered. And when you had that kind of focus from obviously the highest capacity person on the planet,
was the New York Times poll right? Like they had it tied when he was going to win the popular vote. I think state polls overall, and a lot of these polls were within the margin of error. And I kept telling you Donald Trump is gonna win the popular vote, and everybody said there's no fucking way. I thought foolishly that the swing state blue wall was going to still remain in the Democratic side. I was wrong about that. That's why I said Kamala Harris has a marginal chance of success, winning the Electoral College potentially, but still losing the popular vote. Also, the popular vote will be closer once Cali finishes count. I don't know, man.
Coupled with Donald Trump, you're talking about a force multiplier, the likes of which that literally, in my opinion, saved civilization.
Chris, what would you say?
I like the phrase force multiplier. That's absolutely what social media is. I agree with your analysis about people using social media as much as any media now.
I saw a tweet that basically addresses what you're saying right here perfectly. The Democrats' strategy this entire process since the Trump era has been there's no rules. A dog can't play basketball over and over again as the dog keeps dunking on them. And that's basically this. Fox News can lose $787 million for lying and get away with it. Trump can get away with sexual assault and election fraud. The January 6ers are going to get pardoned. The civil guardrails are completely gone. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing. And people don't care. People do not fucking care. You understand me? They do not care. Why should they care? Why should they fucking care when they've given up on these institutions defending them entirely? Yeah, this is it. This last decade has been the Democrats clinging on to the rule book going, but a dog can't play basketball while a dog fucking dunks on us over and over. And that was in fucking 2018.
Now, there's a problem with that because social media is not as reliable on a lot of levels. Independent media depends on the outlet, what the vetting is, what the structure is. But yes, that was a big factor. The social media component of the dialogue is very important. Chris Wallace leaving CNN to go start a podcast and people saying, oh, this is a watershed moment. Well, no, it is. It depends what he does with his podcast.
And by the way, he's probably not going to do very well.
But I'm saying, right, because it could fade into, because what it has done very well. Well, fringe and dissenting voices have done very well in that space.
Fringe don't as a pejorative.
Not as a pejorative.
Yeah.
People on the outside
Correct.
of the spectrum of thought.
Correct. Yeah.
Non-main party people.
Yes.
Okay. So what do I think? If I had to pick it, and I get why you mitigate it because it's more than this, but if I have to.
Bro, I love this. I love this, dude. They were like, hey, guys, our medically brain dead guy was so deeply unpopular. What's the solution? Another medically brain dead guy. That's good, man. That's the method right there. Fuck it. Roll Jimmy Carter up there, dude. Fuck it. He's still alive.
To pick a pivot point, it was the inflation narrative. Because what happened was the left got caught in a space of trying to convince you that you weren't paying more for things and that wasn't.
He's right. This is right. I can't believe I'm saying this. Chris Cuomo's on the money on this.
Really a problem. And that's a very tricky space. I would have a famous conservative come on every week named Bill O'Reilly. And his analysis would begin and end with the gas pump in the grocery store. And I'd say, yeah, but what about this? He said, gas is higher than it was. Groceries are higher. Rent, mortgage, higher. There's your nut. That's your nut. And we haven't even included healthcare costs yet, which also went up. So when all of those things are worse now, and they're telling you that the guy where they were better is the problem, it doesn't compute. That's what I thought was a big pivot point. And of course, there are 100 other things that went into it. Jordan Peterson's right. There's never a single factor explanation for a complex situation. But
we can pinpoint causes set in motion for sure.
They couldn't get away from that reality.
Thanksgiving's around the corner. Christmas.
Whoa, this is a great take. I just threw 2 pennies at a homeless guy, making him objectively better off than he was before, and he got mad at me. He said he'd rather have nothing. When the data shows a 2-penny increase, I'm a moderate liberal, and I can't figure out why the data isn't resonating with him. Oh my God, what a banger. What a fucking banger. Holy shit. Oh, that's so perfect. That's so fucking perfect. Oh. Wow. I'm trying to help you. It's perhaps because the homeless guy is an irredeemable, racist, white supremacist, sexist. That's probably what it is. And he deserves, he deserves to be homeless. Actually, we should deport him. We should deport him. He's ungrateful. That's what liberals sound like, okay?